Mongolians in contemporary China, like other national minorities in China, live their lives in a nation consisting of an enormously larger population of Han Chinese. Even in Inner Mongolia, the percentage of Mongols is much smaller than that of Han Chinese. The attempts of Mongols to maintain their individual and group identity as Mongolians are manifested in a wide variety of ways. Beyond marking simple statements of membership in or affiliation with an ethnic category, Mongolian ethnicity is complexly stated, often in richly symbolic ways. This film will explore some of the ways in which Horqin Mongols, whose homeland is in the easternmost parts of Inner Mongolia, live their lives in a social and physical environment that is filled with complex, often symbolic, references to Mongolian identity. In that environment, individual Mongolians may choose how and when and to what degree to demonstrate that identity. Music often provides ways for both musicians and those who listen to it to experience pride about their lives as Mongols. Although this DVD places great emphasis on Horqin Mongol music, the DVD takes a more holistic approach. Horqin Mongolian music is treated broadly within Horqin Mongolian culture, including art, architecture, poetry, storytelling, religion, and contemporary commercial venues. And since Horqin Mongolian culture itself is filled with symbolic statements, it is necessary to examine what some of the major symbolic references in Horqin Mongol music are, and to link them, in this case visually, to those references. The Horqin Mongols of eastern Inner Mongolia, China, trace their descent from nomadic peoples whose origin was in the Irgun forest in the area of the contemporary Hulunbuir League. At that time, they existed as hunters and gatherers, and only later left the forest to move on to grasslands as nomadic pastoralists. In this cultural account of origins, Horqin Mongols trace their descent from two beings called Grey Wolf and White Deer. Instances of symbolic references to wolves and to white deer are common in eastern Inner Mongolia. In the distant past, Mongolians worshipped heaven, the clear blue sky. The lives of contemporary Horqin Mongols are filled with sky blue reference. Blue domes on buildings, blue hada cloths, blue banners at the Mongolian annual games are some of the most obvious examples. Horqin Mongolian life is a world peopled with stories about their past, with gods, monsters, chiefs, warriors, heroes, monks, horses, and women, living a free life on the beautiful grasslands under a clear blue sky. Contemporary Horqin Mongols people their lives today with representations in various art forms of that past. Modern public institutions, such as the Tongliao Art Museum, have bas-reliefs about Mongolian history. Paintings that embellish Mongolian culture values, and public monuments that glorify the Horqin Mongolian past. The statue of Khazar in the plaza of the Tongliao Art Museum is a representation of Temujin's brother, Khazar, who is regarded as the ancestor of the Horqin Mongols. Other exhibits, such as the Lele carts, refer back not only to the past but also to a time when Mongols led independent lives. Hotels and restaurants in Tongliao also participate in the symbolic references to Horqin Mongolian history and culture. The Tongliao Hotel has several concrete representations of Mongolian yurts in front of the hotel proper. The dining room of the Tongliao Hotel presents Mongolian music in Mongolian and in Chinese to customers for an hour each morning. Other hotels and some restaurants have Mongolian symbols in their lobbies, such as bas-reliefs. By city law in Tongliao, all business signs on the front of stores must be written in Mongolian words, as well as in Chinese characters. Street signs are also in Mongolian words and in Chinese characters. Individual Horqin Mongolian households contain items that symbolically speak of that vision of Mongolian culture. Paintings or sketches of Temujin, Genghis Khan, horses, and other reference are common in such households. The most apparent referent to a cultural past of great importance is in the dress worn by Horqin Mongolian musicians when they perform. Dress will be used here to refer not only to apparel, but also to jewelry and other related items. Performers often wear clothing which symbolizes their Mongolian heritage. Some performers also style their hair to represent that vision of ancestral Mongolian customs. Mongolian parents will sometimes dress their child in Mongolian costume on festive days, symbolically stating their child's membership in a Mongolian community. Thus, when Horqin Mongols of eastern Inner Mongolia, China, look around them, they see a landscape filled with people, both Mongols and Han Chinese. But they also see those landscapes through culturally colored eyes. Their culture tells them, through stories told and retold, through song and poetry, of a land of the past, peopled by great men, warriors, heroes, monks, women, gods and monsters, wolves and fire, and millions of horses running on the grassland, and the fantasy that those times of Mongolian glory will someday return. However, beyond the symbolism filled with the longing for a Mongolian past and all that it represents to them, there is the symbolism of current Mongolian reality, their national minority status within the Chinese state. One of the ways that Mongols in eastern Inner Mongolia, China, connect these two symbolic worlds, their imagined community and their real community, is through the lyrics of holbos and poetry. Many of the holbos that Mongols compose as individuals and perform as individuals or groups link the golden past of Mongolian legend with the reality of citizenship in a country that has undergone tremendous political and economic changes during the past century, a country led by men whose visions have transformed their own lives. The following poem, taken from an inscription on the base of the statue of Kasar, the archer, in the plaza of the Tongliao Art Museum, will illustrate this linking of Mongolian collective memories of a golden past with their political reality of citizenship as a national minority within a state dominated by a Han majority.
希望。